down to 5 now.
One tree down. After that play.
Down by 5. They'll go for 2. Said this wasn't an offense built in a quick strike comeback, Kirk, but now a couple of touchdowns. They look dead in that second quarter.
Showed great patience to come back into this football game. Did not panic, stuck to their guns with their offense.
Under the back, 3 receivers all to the right side as Teal rolls that way. Puts it into the end zone. Caught! It was Dennis Campbell, the freshman. Suddenly, Schiano's team down just a field goal.
It's time to feel free with New Chase Freedom. Feel
Whole different deal than last year's meeting when Louisville was just dominant on offense in the second half. Kirk, they scored on 4 straight possessions, but now the change of venue here to Rutgers. It's rocking, and as Rutgers defense has some confidence now, and in Times Square, the growing Rutgers fan base across the Hudson in Manhattan enjoying it. Chopping away at that lead, down to 3 now. Teal again, who's lost just 1 game as a starting quarterback, high school and college, and that was to Louisville in that blowout last year. Trying to keep the crowd in it. We'll see what Baum can do now. Kirk, 3 straight 3-and-outs for this offense, which had been so sharp in the first half. Mito again short on the kickoff, and Spillman will have a chance at the 3. Reverses direction. Look at the burst from Jawan Spillman. He's in the open. Spillman just corralled at the 30. What a crucial tackle by Zaire Kitchen, who's had a couple of them on special teams tonight. A 31-yard return that could have been a lot longer.
Wow, did he save a big gain. Spillman's been impressive. I want to go back to the last series. The confusion by Rutgers it appeared to be, and then the stop by Rankert. Remember, that was 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 for the Louisville defense, then stopped, punt the ball back to Rutgers, and that allowed Rutgers to go down to that big score.
Rule was a 51% third down conversion rate all season long. Just 3 of 12 tonight. This place is laughing now. Sack. Now the confusion's on the offensive side. Ramel Meekin's got him.
This crowd right now, you see 44,000, you say, wow, compared to some of the bigger stadiums in the country, that's not a huge stadium. I can tell you right now, Chris and I travel every week. This is a loud stadium, and the offensive lineman couldn't hear the snap count. That's what allowed Meekins to get through.
4th sack of the Knights. Once again, a hand in Brom's face. The flag flies incomplete. Meekins got there again. The flag was on the near side. It was Gary Barnage, the tight end, was out of the pattern. Did they hold him? No, it's ineligible downfield on the Cardinals. And the mistakes continue to pile up for Petrino's offense. It's Frierson.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 80 on the offense. Their penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Frierson, the linebacker, is up and walking off now. He was on 1 knee for a time. Appears to be okay. They decline the penalty. It's 3rd and 18.
These players are all given that sign, that chopping wood sign that Greg Schiano has built his team to believe about their work ethic. And he actually gives the axe offensive player of the game, gives an axe to the defensive player of the game and the special teams. This is a huge play for Brian Brom.
4 receivers. And now Rutgers will call timeout. Didn't like what they saw from the Louisville offense. There's some mismatches maybe in the slot.
Well, I think Greg Schiano called it himself. You could see he is fired up. He jumped up to the linesman and said, I need a timeout. I need a timeout. And this is Eric Foster giving that chopping wood sign before that third down almost happened.
I bet that was a spirited halftime talk there in the Rutgers locker room. What do you think? Huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was. And, you know, you think about these two teams. All year we've talked about, is Rutgers for real? Are the Scarlet Knights for real? And Louisville, after their win last week against West Virginia, getting up to number 3 in the BCS standings. If you're number 3 and you're on the road and you want to show America that you deserve to be at number 3 in the BCS standings, you find ways to win these kind of games. And Rutgers is playing for more than pride. They're playing for an opportunity maybe to get to a BCS bowl themselves.
They've held Louisville to 15 yards, Aaron, in this second half so far. Different scene in that Rutgers sideline?
It certainly is, Chris. They just announced on the Jumbotron a new Rutgers Stadium attendance record here tonight. These fans, Kirk, are chopping wood. They are loud. And the word from the Louisville sidelines, guys screaming, pay attention, silent count. And as you guys mentioned, they're having problems hearing because of this crowd.
The bottom of your screen there, you saw those bleachers, 2,000 extra seats, and those are all students in there that have those seats, and that's right behind where the Louisville offense is trying to operate on 3rd and 18. Blum, long way to go for the first down. He'll get nowhere near it. Flyerson, Devin McCourtney able to chase him down. Once again, Louisville forced a 3 and out.
Great pressure. They're going to bring the blitz, and they're going to play man coverage behind it. The man coverage held up, and this is as much about being a coverage sack as it is the pressure. Look at the great coverage downfield, and Brian Brom, who's not real elusive, again has to escape the pressure of Rutgers defense.
A low kick. Willie Foster has a chance. And squirts forward out near the 40. And now it's the Louisville defense that will have to step up. Rutgers with huge momentum. Saturday, ESPN and ABC team up to bring you the top 2 teams in the nation a week before the big showdown. ABC at 3:30 Eastern has Troy Smith and the Buckeyes traveling to Northwestern. ESPN has the Wolverines against Indiana at 3:30. With that countdown clock, Michigan and Ohio State a week from Saturday in Columbus. Never met. As undefeated 1 versus 2 teams.
I think after last week's games for both teams that it's important to build some confidence before they go into the big showdown coming up next Saturday. Those are big games for both teams.
And Rutgers offense has some confidence now. Kenny Britt in motion. They hand it to Rice, who smacks forward for about 5. Well, now they're back in the game, down only 3. They can kind of stay in their comfort zone, which means running Rice more.
You know what? But I thought, considering they were down 11 to start the third quarter, that they've done a really good job of kind of staying true to who they are. Even though they still have taken some chances, they have not completely left the game plan. They've showed some patience, and I think that thought process from Greg Schiano and his offensive staff have allowed them to get back into this game without having to panic to do it.
It's Underwood in motion, and Teal straight back, flag down over the middle. It's complete. Once again, running free is Britt. The flag seems likely to be on the offense. We'll check it. The gain is down to the 25, 33 yards, pending the penalty. And it will come back. An illegal shift. But once again, Kenny Britt, who's been the weapon tonight in the passing game, wide open.
Illegal motion, number 88 on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, second down.
This guy's a very big recruit for Schiano. He's going to be around and making plays here for years to come.
Yeah, he is. And as a true freshman, he's just getting better and better and starting to understand what has to happen. But these crossing routes behind the zone coverage from Louisville, there are busts in the coverage. And we've seen now the last couple times that Kenny Britt has tried to get downfield, but he's had a lot of room to not only make a catch, but to run with the football after the catch.
Young Cordell Young, another freshman in the game now on 2nd and 10. It's Leonard in motion. And they flip it off to Young on the screen. But a good job of the Cardinal defense to snuff it out. Nate Harris wasn't buying the screen.
Well, he picked it up right as soon as the ball was snapped. He could feel the quarterback Teal backtracking off of his drop. And when you're a linebacker and you see a quarterback, a lot of times the offensive lineman will tip it. He's right in the middle of the field. Look how quickly he comes off of his read, and he comes right down to lower the boom on Cordell Young. That's great instincts there by number 10, Nate Harris.
I think the personnel group tipped it off, too. You know they're going to use Young on a screen. They did it in the first half successfully. Inside of a minute now in the third quarter. 3rd and 8. It's Leonard who stays in the block. Teal, pressure. And trapped down. Sacked by Amobi Okoye. And this Rutgers drive snuffed out.
Can't say it enough. A 19-year-old senior. Okoye.
Monster game last week against the Mountaineers.
Senior.
Huh? Yeah.
It's just an amazing story. Every time we do Louisville and you go over all the notes and you talk with the coaches and you come down to Okoye, who's their best defensive lineman, and they talk to you about him being 19 years old and being so mature beyond his age.
He had that big forced fumble against Steve Slayton last week. Makes a big sack there. The final 15 minutes on the banks of the Raritan. It's a 3-point game. Number 3 Louisville hanging on, about to get the football back.
And what a leader he is for Louisville. Talk about an accelerated life for this guy. When he was 2.5 years old, he started school in Nigeria. His mom was a principal out there. At 12 years old, his family moved to the United States, and he started high school as a freshman. He signed with Louisville when he was 15, and at 16, he became the youngest player in college football to play 13 games. Hey, guys, people ask him why he's doing so well this year. At 19, he says, I'm just aging.
He didn't act like 19, though. He's got a very mature presence about him, Aaron. Thanks. 20th start of his career tonight. So Rutgers has to boot it away as we begin the fourth quarter. Fumbled and fallen on is Spillman, who had the touchdown earlier, almost gives one back to the Scarlet Knights. Now we'll see if Schiano's defense can keep it up, Kirk, against Petrino in the offense. Clear edge for that guy's crew in that third quarter as Louisville ran 13 plays and had 21 yards.
Oh, they chopped a lot of wood there in the third quarter, put a goose egg up for Brian Brown. You don't see that very often for the Louisville offense. Completely out of rhythm. I think they're going to go back to running the ball.
But Smith goes nowhere. Very active Eric Foster, who did talk a lot this week, talked up his own defense, and he's starting to back it up.
Well, they always talk about being 1/11th. Play as a group. That's a big, big factor for the Scarlet Knights. Look at all the Scarlet around the ball carrier that time. That's what they pride themselves on, outworking their opponent, and we're seeing a lot of that here in the second half.
A lot of those guys in red were part of bad defense a couple of years ago. We're 88th in scoring defense 2 years ago. 59th last year. Now second. And Louisville has to burn a timeout here. Braum is poised and as good a decision maker as there is in college football. But this defense got the better of him in that quarter.
Well, not only decision maker, his accuracy is uncanny. And tonight he has just been disrupted. And we saw it early after a great opening drive. They got pressure to him, pushed his offensive lineman back into the backfield. He threw a pick. He just always, he seems indecisive back in the pocket. Things are covered. By the time he figures it out, the pressure gets to him. It's what Greg Schiano, when he was at Miami of Florida as a defensive coordinator, now as a head coach, it's what he's been building here as he's been trying to build a defense that's confident and loves to believe in his system, which is a lot of activity, a lot of movement. Look what he's he's done to Brian Brohm tonight. It's the same quarterback that last week against West Virginia was 19 of 26 for 354 yards.
Notice the low percentage, even on the short passes. They do have the two big pass plays of 45 and 39, but even in the underneath stuff, a very low percentage.
And as much as I talked about the offensive line of Louisville last week, because we always get caught up in the quarterbacks and the running backs and the receivers on offense, I always like to go back to the play of the offensive lineman. And last week they had a great game against the 3-3-5 scheme of Jeff Castile in West Virginia. This week they're getting out-hustled. It's a matter of who wants it and who's fighting. And we have seen this Rutgers defensive line outfight Louisville in the trenches.
Foster and Meekins in the interior especially have been tough in this third quarter, in the second half, I should say. Brohm, this time, had protection, now has a little running room and dives forward as the late flag comes flying in the holding area. And that's what it is, holding on the Cardinals. That's frustrating as it had really no impact on the play. It was well behind where Brohm was scrambling, but it'll march him back.
Holding, number 63 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat second down.
The adjustments by Greg Schiano have been amazing. One of the plays that hurt Rutgers was a vertical receiver down the middle of the field in the first half. Look at the way this time Thompson runs step for step with Riley right down the middle of the field, and that's exactly where Brian Brohm was looking. He thought he had a matchup that he liked with a receiver against a linebacker, but that time Thompson step for step with a quicker receiver, Jimmy Riley.
Devon Thompson, number 55, had the pick earlier. He's had a big ball game. On 2nd and 19, they bring pressure again. Brohm hit as he throws. It's caught by Louisville.
Wow.
Rudy came back in there. Brohm was hammered on the blind side, and the ball was kind of wobbling in the air. Lucky to avoid a pick there.
This is an offensive line right now that is confused with the looks. I'm sure they're trying to make adjustments to their protection, but they're confused with the pressure. This time a safety, McCourty, gets in there untouched. The tight end let him come right through.
They lose a yard on that, and now kind of a give-up call, and Smith will lose yardage on the draw. Rutgers is playing some defense, folks. This is a very, very good offense. It's going backwards in the second half.
This is one of the scrappiest defenses I've seen all year.
5 possessions, no first downs after halftime for Louisville. The second-rated offense in the country. Getchy's been very busy, the punter. And Rutgers down 3 should get pretty good field position. It's a short kick. And it'll roll out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Brohm has been frustrated as the brother-to-brother conferences continue on the sidelines. It's Teal, and the Knights will get the ball back down 3.
Part of the
Do you know what Rutgers' mascot is?
A beaver.
A turtle.
Bulldog.
Hold on, tiger? He's probably furry.
Is it a red devil?
Wolf?
Pirate.
A bear. A knight, a Scarlet Knight, right?
Something like that, right?
One right answer in there in Manhattan. Folks rapidly becoming aware of the Scarlet Knights football program all over the New York, New Jersey area. This will be big headlines in New York tomorrow if the Scarlet Knights can come off the mat and upset number 3 Louisville. It was 25-7 in the second quarter. Cardinals had all kinds of momentum, but this Rutgers defense has turned it around, and the offense has gotten them close. Still down 3. Teal takes it, steps up, hit as he throws. Incomplete. Rice got a hand in it over the middle as Teal picks himself up slowly.
Still seeing this Rutgers offense relying on Mike Teal, believing in Mike Teal's leadership to try to get them to the eventual either tying score or winning score or go-ahead score. Because, Chris, for people not familiar, just tuning in with Rutgers, this is a team that relies heavily on running the football. And tonight they've gone against that, trying to give Teal some help to try to take the pressure off of Ray Rice.
It's Rice who gets it on the draw. Picks his way up the middle. Ray Rice. First down, yardage near midfield. You can see the patience, the vision of Rice there. He waited for his blockers, kind of hid behind the offensive lineman. Nice run.
Yeah, it was a great job of hiding at 5'9" behind the offensive line. But how about his leading blocker right there to 23? I love coming into this year, but hasn't had a chance to get the ball much because 27, the true sophomore, Ray Rice has taken most of the load, but Brian Leonard, a true team player.
Never blocked in his life until this year. He's become a much better blocker.
Opening up the hole that time for his teammate and partner, Ray Rice.
And that's Leonard in motion once again. The lead blocker, Rice, once again, finding you up the middle. William Gay on the stop, but 16 more yards, and this is the typical Rutgers offense.
And here he is again, picking up a block this time. Watch him coming right towards you. Picks up a block on the outside linebacker. Preston Smith steps up. He thinks he's got to play, but how about that? Teammate. These guys have become great friends. That block again turns Ray Rice loose for another big game.
82 yards now for Rice and a couple of touchdowns. He's not done carrying the ball.
Got some momentum going.
This time they fake it to him, and Teal fires on first down. Had a man wide open. Tyquan Underwood kind of cut back toward the center of the field. He was covered by Rod Council. Teal threw it outside.
When you see back-to-back plays with the wheelhouse there, running the football to Ray Rice, even though it's not a great fake, the linebackers come way up, and if he has time to throw, look at the huge hole that he had in man coverage with Underwood beating his man. He just needed a little bit more time, and even still, Teal would love to have that one back to be able to convert.
Koy might have gotten an arm on him as he was throwing the football, too, to make that off target. 2nd and 10. Cards jump and get back. Rice on the toss. Smack straight ahead. Preston Smith, the linebacker, met him again, but Rice won that little battle.
I found it interesting sitting around talking with the players yesterday. Ray Rice is getting all the accolades, 3rd in the nation in rushing, but Aaron, it's Brian Leonard, who's a senior. He's kind of the workhorse. He's had to step aside and be a great teammate and a great, kind of a big brother to the younger back.
Absolutely, Herb. Not really the way he thought he would end his college career, but he said, you know what? I'm not getting the carries. I'm not scoring as much as I wanted to, but we were losing when I was doing that. Now we're winning, and now I'm enjoying it.
On 3rd and 3, short hop by Teal. Trying to get the ball to Dennis Campbell out there, and now down 3. Shiana will trot out Jeremy Ito. Ito, very low-key guy as he continues to pile up great stats as a kicker. He's got great range, very accurate, and will be one of the great kickers Rutgers has ever had. 46 yards.
This is from 46. He has a long of 53, so plenty of leg to knock this through.
This for the tie. He's got it. Straight points for Rutgers. We're dead even. 10:13 to play.
Hi, I'm Tyler Florence. You know, amazing food starts with a few simple...
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by ESPN Game Plan. Maximum college football. To order, call your pay-per-view provider or log on to ESPN.com. Search Game Plan. And Under Armour Performance. The advantage is undeniable.
Raucous and rockin' Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights back in this thing. It's 25 apiece. And number 3 Louisville. Forget style points. Forget trying to impress the posters and the BCS. They're just trying to get out of here with a win. Just trying to survive. This whole place energized First by Rutgers defense, which has held an offense that averages almost 40 points a game, almost 500 yards a game, to virtually nothing after halftime. And the offense has responded with 18 points. I'm stunned that Rutgers has been this smothering against an offense that we've seen, Kirk, one of the best in the country.
This is anybody who's questioned Rutgers' validity and whether or not they are a team that deserves to be 15th in the country. This is not, oh boy, Louisville should have killed Rutgers. What's wrong with Louisville? This is a good football team tonight that we're seeing from the Scarlet Knights.
And finally, Ito, little adrenaline, able to power the ball through the end zone for a touchback. He's had trouble tonight, and it helped create a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yeah, look at the drives here. This is the last 6 drives by Louisville. That's not good. How about the last 4? 3 and out. Major confusion for Bobby Petrino, Jeff Brom, and the offensive line. I just can't believe all the negative yards. A lot of that's been penalties, but a lot of that's been penetration. How does Bobby Petrino this time, after the last 6 drives, respond? What does he go to here against Greg Schiano?
Smith the setback, but Brom's throwing on first down if he can get away from the pressure. He'll tuck it and run it, and a nice gain. So real test now for Brian Brom.
I think it's important to really show that you've got great poise when things like this happen, when you don't have a great night. Here's his quarterback coach, an older brother. He's been in his face all night long questioning him. And I might tell, if I were Brian, I might tell, hey, big brother, let's go into the offensive line and work with them a little bit to get them to help me out. Take some of that energy over to them.
Smith is smacked. Good job by Devon Thompson helping out Foster, and Meekins on the stop. Aaron talked earlier about this isn't X and O's and schemes, Kirk. This is just a defense being energized and just playing hard and fast.
They play hard, they play fast, and it's about the confidence. It's just such a great story of a team that's come from the ground and built themselves up to now where they believe in one another. And there are great teams out there that have great individual players. And for those of you that don't buy into the team concept, Rutgers defense is an example. If you buy into a team, how much it can benefit you.
4th and 3. Brom's going to throw over the middle, caught. First down. Only 3 of 14 on 3rd down before that, but Arudia collects it for 8 in traffic. Crucial.
Yeah, it was a huge play there. That time, Brom was able to just stop the bleeding, come up with a conversion to move the sticks to see if they can stop this momentum that's clearly been in favor of the Scarlet Knights. But Chris, this Rutgers defense, they're not going to have any All-Americans on this defense. They just play as a group and united. That's how they're able to stop a great offense like Louisville.
It's Brom again, short, overthrown. That one was on the QB. He was looking for Douglas, who was pretty well defended by Courtney Green, but throw high.
Brian Brom got his feet turned. He got settled. This is something that his brother was talking to him about earlier, getting your feet set. He actually moves his feet right into the direction of his target. Perfect alignment. It's just another example of a quarterback, as good as Brian Brom is, who can't get comfortable in the pocket. We've seen Brady Quinn, who's a great quarterback, go through this at times this year. Sometimes when you get out of rhythm, it becomes tough on your accuracy.
Anthony Allen goes out in the pattern. Brom has to escape. Once again, a nice job to get positive yardage because the Scarlet Knights were all over him quickly. That was Eric Foster again with the quick pressure.
What happens is a quarterback has an ability to, once you get into rhythm, you almost throw without even thinking. And Brian Brom right now is thinking about that pressure. He may not be actually looking at it, but he is feeling it. Tyler Palko, who's a great quarterback, when he played Rutgers, did the same thing. He felt that heat, and it's enough to get you out of sync.
3rd and 5. Again, the short completion. First down, cutting back into Rutgers territory is Colby Smith. They use their backs as receivers a lot. 16 yards for Smith and another 3rd down conversion.
Talked the whole game about taking chances by blitzing, by bringing pressure against a Louisville offense that can score within one play. If you're not on top of every receiver and every back and you leave one empty and Brom has time, he'll find that open man, and that time he did for the first.
Ray Rice says, get me the football back. But a couple of crucial conversions for Louisville. They'll run it to Smith on first down. This is a Louisville offense that is capable of, despite 4 straight 3-and-outs, a lot of negative yardage, of methodically moving down the field and taking the lead and leaving Rutgers not much time.
But on a normal night, you would say that they are capable of methodically moving the ball down the field. It would be uncharacteristic of what we've seen tonight. The big play has to still be there. The big play threat against this man pressure from Rutgers still has to be a factor. They can score in a hurry.
You look to Douglas in the slot. Now Brom just has to tuck it up. Plow ahead for a very short gain.
There's no way to execute an offense when the quarterback's in the shotgun. By the time he takes the snap, he takes one step back and he starts to step up because he's feeling the pocket close in on him.
Once again, down on the field is Foster. Boy, he has been so strong tonight. He and Ramel Meekins, we talked about the undersized tackles who just play with such high motors, have really had their way with the interior part of that Louisville offensive line lately. This is a helmet collision there.
Great to see him already up and walking off the field. And Chris, it's the intangibles of Eric Foster as a junior. That has as much to do with the value that he brings to the table. He missed most of 05, as you talked about, with the ACL. Active co-captain as a junior. Hopefully for the Rutgers team, he'll have a chance to get back out on the field, because you said it, he's been a big part of their success tonight.
4 hurries, 7 tackles, half a sack for the guy from Homestead. Shiano's former turf down there as a Miami assistant. One more key third down for Brom. Once again, pressure on him as he throws. It's caught, but not a first down. Jimmy Riley got his hands on it, but he couldn't twist for the first down.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here. This time from the boundary side, the weak side. And the only route that he has a time to throw is a 4-yard route. He can't wait on the 15 or 18-yard route because the pressure is in there well before he has a chance to be patient and look downfield.
Not what they were looking for, but they got a couple of first downs and may be able to knock it down in there if Getchie can pin Rutgers back. He's approaching 5.5 minutes to play in regulation. Very high kick, no returner back there, and Getchie gets a nice bounce. It kind of spins backwards to the 10-yard line. And Rutgers will start actually at the 8, 92 yards from the end zone. Trying to beat a ranked team for the first time since '88. Never beaten a team ranked as high as number 3 Louisville, though. Not even close.
Coming up on SportsCenter, what's next? Well, we're headed back out to Piscataway for post-game reaction and analysis. LeBron and the Cavaliers host division rival Chicago, and will Joe Paterno sit out Saturday? SportsCenter after the game.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's. And in part by Singular, raising the bar.
Rutgers back on offense. It's fun to be a part of a benchmark game for a program, Kirk. We saw it last week at Louisville. For Rutgers, you knew this would be a game that folks around here would talk about for a long, long time, regardless of whether they won or lost. A little longer if they win, especially if they can come from 25-7 down and get this done. 18 straight points in this game. The team that hasn't beaten a ranked opponent since '88. And it's Rice picking his way for a short game. It wasn't just that Louisville had a 25-7 lead, had all the momentum. It was the way they took the lead. So many kinds of plays that you think would just be a shot to the solar plexus of Rutgers.
The more I'm sitting here watching this game unfold, the more I'm gaining more and more respect for Rutgers. And it just reminds me of a team that is so hungry and so determined. No matter what's thrown at them, they just keep fighting, and they just will not go away. And now they've put themselves in a position with under 5 minutes to go to still win this game.
And now it's Rice running right. Remember, he's so strong as the game wears on. He's pretty fresh tonight. Not nearly his usual workload, and we'll see if this Louisville defense can stand up to it. 2 carries and a quick first down.
Well, they've heard all week that they're the Achilles heel to this Louisville team that's put up at number 3 in the BCS standings, and the game is right in front of them. They've got Rutgers pinned down, and they did have them pinned down inside the 20 before that first down. Game's in their hands.
Ray Rice over the 100-yard mark. Play action. Teal tips, caught across the 30. Staying inbounds is Tyquan Underwood, and he will have first down yardage.
Love the call on 1st and 10. It looks like it's going to be close enough for a measure. Mike Teal, we've talked about him all night, how the game would come down to his ability to make enough plays in the passing game to take some of the pressure off of Rice in the running game.
Look at the stats. You don't think it's a big set for 20.
7 of 20 with about 5 drops. I mean, he's had a lot of drops tonight. But he's also come up with enough big plays to allow them to go back to running Ray Rice, which is what they want to do.
But now with 4 minutes to go, there is plenty of time to emphasize the running game, and there better be some concern on that Louisville sideline for its defense.
Yeah, I don't want to pretend to say that Mike Teal's been the difference in the game. We've got 278 yards of offense only for Rutgers and 271 for Louisville. This has been a defensive game. But in this second half, we've seen Teal make just enough plays and prove that his reputation of being a winner in high school and in college was kind of showing tonight.
Rice, and a good job there of Earl Heyman stopping Rice, but even what looks like a kind of a nothing play picks up almost 5.
As they continue to eat up yardage and get out of dangerous territory, the clock continues to go down, and Jeremy Ito, who already hit a 46-yarder to tie the game, has the range from over 50 if it comes down to that.
If we get to the 35 of Louisville, which is about 30 more yards, they're in range. Rice stopped for a loss. Good penetration by Malik Jackson.
I know that this is part of their offense, but the game
methodical for you?
Well, it's not so much that. It's not a handoff here. This is a pitch. Yeah. And not your traditional toss sweep. This is almost like a handoff pitch that Ray Rice handled very well. But
he got quickly. It was a risk.
And he got hit as soon as he held onto the ball.
Well, they got a long way to go to get in Ito's range, and it's 3rd and 6. Underwood in motion. Leonard is the setback. They look in the flats, and the senior's got it. And he's got room. Brian Leonard. Very near field goal range inside the Louisville 40. That's a huge part of their offense. They hadn't been tonight. They saved it for a good time, 26 yards.
It's a nice, we'll call it a rub route because I'm an offensive guy, but Tyquan Underwood comes from the outside and basically picks Nate Harris, not allowing him to get out to the running back, Brian Leonard. And not only does he catch the football, but because Harris gets caught up in traffic, there's no one there to pick up Leonard, and he scrambles all the way downfield inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, the first catch for the leading receiver coming in, but a huge time for it. And now they're just really close to Ito's range, and inside of 2 minutes to go. Teal wants to make no mistakes at this point.
Well, they have a chance now to pick up yards, eat a little bit of clock, and get the ball to the middle of the field with one timeout left. They'll have to save that to try to get the ball to the middle of the field for the field goal opportunity.
Let's see what's on the Applebee's weekend menu. Following this collision of undefeateds in the Big East. Arkansas has an important game. And the Big Ten teams, Ohio State and Michigan, just one step away from that big collision in Columbus. You foresee any trouble there? Of course, we didn't last week either.
Yeah, and I think that the timing of, I don't want to call them close calls, but the timing of Michigan allowing their backups to get in and make Ball State hang around a little bit longer than they wanted to is perfect for their trip to Bloomington. The same could be said for Ohio State. First game that they haven't looked dominant in the second half, and I'm sure that has their attention. Both teams, I think, will be focused on what has to and needs to be done this Saturday.
Well, there were 5 unbeatens coming in. These 2 of them, of course, Ohio State, Michigan, 2 of them, Boise State. One of them was going to fall by the wayside tonight. It looked like it was going to be Rutgers early. And now folks all over the country looking in and hoping the Scarlet Knights can pull out a victory here, a huge comeback, knock Louisville out of the BCS contention. That would be a huge step forward for teams in the SEC, for teams like Texas and Cal and USC.
I was going to say, if people around the country, fans and players, Florida, Texas, Cal, USC, Notre Dame, everybody now has a shot to get into the party if this ends up happening.
Think they're paying attention?
Yeah.
It's Campbell in motion. They keep it on the ground, and breaking free is Rice. Ray Rice inside the 20, and they're well within field goal range. This drive started at their 8-yard line.
Some great blocks in the trenches here. Sam Johnson, the tight end, picks up a great block that actually provides enough of a seam there for Rice to get through. What's amazing here, Chris, is you're talking about 8 white jerseys. The 9th white jersey, Gavin Smart, walks up as the ball is snapped, and they still end up springing one for a big gain into 9 men up in the box.
Rice was 69 yards in the 4th quarter so far. He'll get it again, of course. Bulls forward. Down near a minute, and a timeout is now taken. It's a timeout on the Louisville side. So Jeremy Ito comfortably within his range for a field goal that would cap an incredible comeback here for the Scarlet Knights. I don't know, despite the defensive timeout by Louisville, Kirk, I don't know if they have any chance to get the ball back here. If Shannon wants to run a couple more plays instead of a field goal, they're not going to get the ball back.
No, they'll probably end up calling their last timeout here on 2nd down. And then Greg Schiano will get the ball put as close as he can to the middle of the field. Let the clock wind down as far as it can go down. Call his timeout. Bring out Ito for the potential game-winning field goal.
Talked about, confidence and belief, Kirk. I'm not sure how many people in this place, if they were telling you the truth, really had the belief the Rutgers could come from behind. 25-7 down. Louisville moving up and down the field. Their own team breaking down on special teams. How many believers were there back in the 2nd quarter? Look at this place now.
25-7. With an offense that's ranked 114th in the nation in throwing the football.
Rodney Dangerfield, they're never going to get as much respect as they think they deserve, but they could get a whole bunch more than they had tonight if they can finish this. They give it to Rice, and he just plows straight ahead inside the 15. Once again, Louisville's defense spending a timeout. It'll be 3rd down.
It'll be probably 20 seconds, maybe a little bit more than 20 seconds left by the time
none left.
We see a timeout by Rutgers. They got to get this ball again. Run left, get the ball to the middle of the field. Maybe even just have the quarterback take the snap, just move the pile, just move it to the left by about 5 yards.
Team not built for a comeback in an unfamiliar position this season, trying to create the biggest win ever. They beat some ranked teams ranked 15th in the teens, but never a team ranked as high as number 3 Louisville and Michael Bush. pure frustration, unable to contribute to his team's efforts tonight with that broken ankle. Watching another running back the other side, Ray Rice, power this team down the field. 42 yards on this drive, Kurt.
On 7 carries, that's 6 yards a carry. And have to reiterate, he hasn't had a great night, but on a drive where they needed him, started at their own 9-yard line. He's able to get into position there, Chris, and with it going up against a 9-man front. Great job by the line.
Looks like they'll follow your suggestion. Teal just takes the snap, moves to the center of the field, and falls down at the 15. So the field goal attempt for Jeremy Ito, the junior, all the way from Redlands, California, to the banks of the Raritan, and a chance to provide the winning points in the biggest victory in Rutgers' career. It'll be about a 33-yarder.
Said about 20 seconds. It's going to be right about at 20, maybe 21.
They call the timeout with 21 seconds to play. You know, Schiano was criticized early in his tenure here. He was the youngest head coach at 1A when he took over for some time management issues, not finishing games well, managing games well. He's learned a lot in a lot of aspects, but that's one of them.
We've talked all night about the respect these two teams were trying to achieve, and one thing needs to be talked about hopefully tomorrow around the water coolers in the offices about the job that Greg Schiano has done here. He inherited a program that I thought it was interesting that hadn't quite hit rock bottom. In his first 2 years, it did hit rock bottom. Once he built the philosophy and the vision to teach his players and his recruits, we're going to have the facilities. We're going to get the recruits. We're going to play in big games. It's going to matter. You can make a difference in helping turn Rutgers football around. These players who are here bought into a vision. It's easy to see it now, but when he was selling, it wasn't like this. These players deserve this opportunity.
And now Jeremy Ito. Anthony Cowley to hold. Clark Harris to snap it for the lead. Got very quiet in here. Missed it. A flag is down. A flag is down before the ball was snapped. Ito hooked it.
Louisville is offsides.
Wow.
Louisville offsides.
Number 21 on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat 4th down.
A reprieve for Ito. Very reliable kicker who hooked that one.
William Gay, who's one of the best defensive players on the Louisville team.
Kirk, and he snuck off on the left end. Had nothing to do with any attempted block.
Not at all.
You could see Teal's reaction after the miss. What a mental mistake for William Gay. And Ito, another chance now. This time it'll be from 28 yards. A mulligan.
Should ask our expert in the booth here, Mike Black, who kicked at Boise State, about how it helps you here this second go-round. Typically, kickers, after they miss it and get a second shot, they tend to relax. He has to keep his head down. Last time he pulled his head up.
Schiano saying, hey, we're still chopping wood. We've got a 3-point lead with 13 seconds to go, but he wants his guys to focus on finishing this thing. But what a finish to the drive as Ito makes good on the mulligan. And Rutgers marches from their 9 all the way down to set up a chip shot. Thanks mainly to their stud, Ray Rice, and that offensive line that wore down Louisville's defense in the second half. A stunner, really.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, just been blown away to see this Rutgers team and the heart that they have played with tonight, to be down 25-7 against this Louisville offense that coming into the night, we talked about it, in my opinion, felt this might be the most explosive offense in the country. And to get down like that, to have a chance to get back in, to never give up. This game, to me, epitomizes the job that Greg Schiano has done at Rutgers. This is it in a nutshell. Down 25-7 against all odds. Probably a lot of people tuned away, came back to see how they were doing. And now they're 13 seconds away from knocking off the number 3 team in the country.
I'd be very surprised if they give Spillman a chance to return the kickoff. He had the touchdown earlier. Yeah, I mean, football invented here, 1869. They got it started against Princeton, but they've waited a long time for a moment like this. Could they seize it? Didn't look like it in the early going. Falling in a deep hole, but what a response. A night that no one in New Jersey who follows football will ever forget. And now just 13 seconds away, an agonizing loss this will be for Louisville unless they can conjure a miracle here. They had their moment a week ago, stepped up, survived it against West Virginia. Maybe the emotional drain had something to do, if you're searching for reasons on the Louisville side, something to do with the second half performance here. Mostly the guys in red, but if you're searching for answers on the Louisville side,
right,
why they could never get it going, that might be one. Well, they will kick it deep. They will kick it deep, and Spillman will have a chance. That's a surprise. He's got some room. Jawan Spillman with 1 second to go does get it across the 40, and now the students come out of the end zone emptying on the field. There's still a second to play. The Rutgers players trying to turn the fans around, and now they're coming at it from both sides. Hold on, this game is not over.
You don't want to get a 15-yard penalty to give Brian Brom that much more of a chance at this Hail Mary if they can get the snap off. Remember, the game clock will start as soon as the referee and the umpire and everybody restores order.
Clock to 2 seconds.
They'll have time.
2 seconds. So they'll have a chance to run people down. Look at Rutgers has 6 defensive players, 25 or more yards from the line of scrimmage. 3 of them are down inside the 10. Coach he just needs 2 more seconds for the win of his life.
Well, he wants them to start the clock, but the crew is doing a great job making sure everybody's in place before they start the game clock. Perfect job.
Whistle, snap, final play. Brom, hit and sacked. A fitting ending to Rutgers' biggest win ever. The benchmark, but that doesn't begin to describe what it means to the guys in red. It's okay to smile, Coach. It's bye-bye BCS for Louisville. And a big party in Piscataway.
Right now, man. I don't know how to hold it back, but I'm just so glad. I'm so happy for my team right now. We deserve this.
This is the vision Greg Schiano had for this team. You gotta tell me, with everything on the line, Jeremy Ito's second attempt at that field goal, what are you thinking?
I was holding hands with my teammates, because you know what? I love them, you know what I mean? And we couldn't do it without my teammates, man. I love this program, man. This is for everybody, man. This is for everybody.
Does this program make now for college football in the East?
Hopefully we'll be up there now, but this is big for us, man. This is big for us. I'm speechless right now.
This is big, and what do you think now? There's a lot of talk, national rankings, BCS. Where do you think now, 9-0, you should be ranked?
Hopefully we go up, but I'm just glad we won this game. That's the biggest thing I can say right now. I mean, the pride is here, man. This is for everybody in New
see Ray Rice. It's okay to cry. He should be emotional. What he's got on his eye black there is a tribute to an older cousin who was killed in a car accident 8 years ago. The closest thing he had to kind of a father figure. There's his mom.
Oh, man.
He had to believe this kind of thing was possible becoming a Rutgers.
He took the chance to come here and be a focal point of this turnaround. And it's, what a story. What a story for this program. I think this will help recruit him.
He almost didn't want to allow himself to smile at the end, did he?
Oh.
There's the reaction.
He's had a dream, and he just lived a dream right here.
And look how quickly he composed himself. He knows there's more wood to chop. Rutgers has knocked off the third-ranked Louisville Cardinals and ended Louisville's BCS dreams. Now Rutgers will have to join the conversation. 9-0. How high can they go?
Well, for all the cynics that question the Big East, and a couple years ago, I was one of the biggest cynics of the Big East when they lost their three powerhouses. It's time to back off. Respect this conference. Rutgers, Louisville, West Virginia. You go down, there's great depth in this conference, and tonight was a huge win for Rutgers and a really big win for the Big East.
Yeah, the BCS has opened up 21 straight points for Rutgers and the biggest win in school history. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Aaron Andrews and Kirk Herbstreit and our entire production team here at Rutgers, I'm Chris Fowler. Sports Center is next. Plenty of coverage to come from Rutgers.
This is Sports Center.
Scarlet Fever in Piscataway. We're heading back to Jersey. More on the battle between Big East unbeatens and what it means now for the BCS. LeBron might have been a little cavalier the other night, but it was all business tonight against the Bulls. And we're firing up the hot stove full blast as we size up the biggest names on the diamond market this winter. On the Empire State Building, all lit up in Scarlet Knight red. Welcome to Stand for Red. I'm Carl Ravitch. What are we going to do next Thursday? Once beaten West Virginia, they're back on the clock against Pittsburgh. But that's next week. This week, Stan, a chance for Rutgers to now puff its chest out and say, R stands for Rutgers and respect us.
Indeed. They have been playing football for 137 years at Rutgers, and the school says this is the first time that a ranked Rutgers team has played a ranked opponent in Piscataway, New Jersey. What a scene tonight. Louisville came in number 3 in the country. Rutgers came in number 14 in the country. Louisville off to its best start in 81 years. Rutgers hadn't beat a ranked team since 1988. 8-0 for the first time since 76 when they went undefeated for the whole season. As we mentioned, the Empire State Building all lit up for the Scarlet Knights. First quarter, no score. Louisville going in. Second and goal, Anthony Allen. Cardinals strike first blood. They led 7-0. Still first. 3rd and 13 for Louisville now. Brian Braun back to pass. Picked off. It's Devron Thompson who takes it to the Louisville 26. That came after a Rutgers turnover. And the Rutgers defense keeping it close. First play after the interception for Rutgers, Mike Teal. Going up top to Tequan Underwood. 26-yard touchdown, and just like that, they're tied at 7 in the crowd back into it in Piscataway. Brian Braun, meanwhile, hearing it from his big brother, Jeff Braun, who's not happy about the pick. Ensuing Rutgers kickoff. Louisville special teams, a big part of their season so far. Jawan Spillman. Hands up and wave, because it's goodbye for Spillman. He's going 100 yards for the touchdown. Put a terrible move on Jeremy Ito there, the kicker. But now the extra point try. This is blocked, but picked up by Anthony Hamilton. You see Hamilton there. He runs it in for the 2-point conversion. So everything going Louisville's way. 15-7 for them. We saw 4 big plays in just 45 seconds of the game. Let's recap here. An eventful 45 seconds. First, Brown picked off by Thompson. Then it was Teal finding Underwood for the touchdown, then Spillman with a 100-yard kickoff return, and then the blocked extra point run in by Allen for the 2-point conversion. The folks in New Jersey seen plenty of action thus far in the game. Second quarter, there would be more. Louisville up 15-7. Brom to Jimmy Riley. Touchdown. Brom 13 of 27, $163 in the touchdown, but it was his worst game yards-wise this season. Louisville still up 22-7. Later in the second, Rutgers down 25-7. They go to their main man. It's Ray Rice, 18-yard touchdown. He came in third in the nation in rushing. Rutgers down 11. Third quarter now. Rutgers trailing 25-14. Teal going up top again, this time to Kenny Britt. He's going 64 yards down to the 5. Defender pokes the ball out, but Britt manages to stay in bounds and recover the fumble. Take another look at William Gay with the strip. And heads-up job by Britt. Only chance 3 defenders in the area, but he comes up with it. That would lead to this. First and goal. Rice, a $131 on 22 carries. 2-point conversion good. Rutgers down just 3, and they're going nuts in Jersey. Fourth quarter. Same score. First and 10 for Rutgers after another Louisville punt. Their defense kept making play after play. It's Rice. Starts to get cooking now. 16 yards on that carry. That would set up Ito. 46-yard field goal attempt. And he knocks it through, and the game is tied at 25. Rutgers comes all the way back from down 25-7. Their defense forced 7 straight punts. They got the ball back again. Teal to Brian Leonard, the senior, who's seen his carries reduced because of Rice's emergence in the offense. And he puts Rutgers in good field position, and then it's Rice once again, 20 yards on that carry. Here comes Ito now, 33 yards away. He can win it for Rutgers. 21 seconds to go, and he hooked it. Wait a minute, flag on the play. The call, offsides against Louisville. Big mistake for the Cardinals, and Ito would make him pay. Another try from 28 yards away. The verdict for Ito, good. Final chance for Louisville. And Brom is sacked on the play, and they can celebrate in New Jersey. As Rutgers alum Queen Latifah said, you have to respect Jersey. Rutgers 9-0. Greg Schiano has come there and turned this program completely around. It took him a few years after he got there from Miami, but Rutgers now 9-0, 4-0 in the Big East. Louisville came in scoring 39 a game, but the Knights held them 14 below their average, shut them out in the second half, and they were able to get Rice involved once the defense got on track. So they have Cincinnati, Syracuse, and West Virginia left on their schedule. Big question, how far does Rutgers move up? How far does Louisville move down? Let's send it back out to Chris Fowler and company in Jersey.
A sea of Rutgers red that is just delirious, a delicious, historic victory for the Scarlet Knights. The build-up was tremendous. The comeback, the performance as Jeremy Ito given a mulligan, able to knock through the game-winning field goal. And Rutgers scores the last 21 points of this game with the biggest victory in school history. Never beaten a team inside of the top 15 before. They knock off number 3 Louisville, and now Rutgers has to join the conversation. Ray Rice was a stud, 75 yards in the fourth quarter. Aaron Andrews with Greg Schiano and Brian Leonard.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Brian, of course, came over here, gave Coach a big hug, and then started getting a little misty. You came back, bypassed the NFL to come back. Tell me what's going through your mind right now.
Absolutely. That's the reason I came back in my 5th year. I believe in this program. I believe in leadership on this team, and I believe we can do great things like this, and it's so awesome with 44,000 people on this field right now, all Rutgers fans.
And Coach, 6 years ago, you told people, hey, we're going to be in situations like this, and the atmosphere is going to be like this. And you got laughed at. What are those people thinking now?
Well, I'll tell you what. We have great kids that believe in what we're doing, and Brian just said it. He believes in this program, and he believes in what we do. Because you don't come back like we did tonight unless you have believers.
Brian, we knew a story about a couple years ago. You got booed. A beer bottle got smashed on the top of your car, dented your roof. I mean, what's going through your mind as you knock off the 3rd-ranked team in the nation, and you're standing here?
That was the old Rutgers, and this is the new Rutgers, and it's just a dream of mine to take this team in 9-0 right now, and this is an unbelievable feeling, and I love it.
We got to ask you about your defense tonight and the way they chopped wood all night. What can you say about their efforts?
They did. They did just what you said. We had 2 big plays in the first half that we gave up, and they didn't get discouraged. They just They did what we asked them to do. Forget the scoreboard, forget everything, and just chop. And we got great kids here.
Gotta ask you guys this, 9-0 now. A lot of talk about the BCS national ranking. Where do you think you belong in the polls?
We belong playing Cincinnati next week. That's where we belong.
Next game all we're worried about. That's the biggest game of the season now, next game.
Good for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris.
Aaron, thank you. There's a player who believed in a coach's vision. He gave him a little kiss on the cheek. It's okay. They've earned it. 25-7 down to a Louisville team that had made big plays on special teams. Rutgers was getting dominated in that area. Shiano talked about the two big plays they'd given up. To find the belief to come back and then make the plays in the second half and throttle the second-rated offense in the country. Louisville was powerless in the second half.
We've been kind of waiting for Ohio State, Michigan for the last 5 weeks as a college football community, but the story that just unfolded tonight to me is going to be the story of the year. It's unbelievable to think where this Rutgers program was and to see where they are now and what they're enjoying and the look in the eyes of these players and these coaches. They're so hungry. And it came down to this. It was 3rd and 6 on their own 35. The guy who decided to come back for his 5th year, the leader of this team that's never complained when Ray Rice has taken over, picks up a big gain and gets them down all the way 26 yards later into Louisville territory and eventually sets up the game-winning field goal. What a story.
A star who had turned into a role player making his first catch of the night. Remarkable. I still think people are going to want to dissect and know how this Rutgers defense, which is undersized, not full of big marquee famous players, was able to shut down Brian Brohm, confuse him so much, and basically completely destroy Louisville's offensive plan in the second half.
I think everybody's going to be looking at that game plan to wonder how Greg Schiano was able to do that. But outside of giving up a few big plays, it was consistent. It was the entire game. They were able to get pressure on Brian Brohm. They were able to negate the running game of Louisville, and by doing that, they made Brian Brohm one-dimensional. They had a pretty good idea when he might throw, but I've never seen a Louisville offense with Bobby Petrino constantly receive so much pressure as they did tonight. You start to now wonder, 9-0, Cincinnati on the road. That's a very good defense with Mark D'Antonio, Syracuse at home, and then huge game December 2nd at West Virginia that's going to be on ESPN. So you start to think now, you eliminate Louisville for now, you throw Rutgers up there as an unbeaten. Chris, I don't think they need to enjoy this night. I don't think they're going to get into that debate. I think they have too far to climb, but they do have a great shot at a BCS Bowl.
Well, they're not concerned about debates right now, and you can see that, they were the lowest ranked of the 5 undefeated teams. Wow, he got whacked by that bucket. That wasn't just liquid. He got hit by plastic there. He's feeling no pain. Neither of these folks. Rutgers, biggest win in school history, 9-0. How high can they go? Back to the studio.
Okay, guys, you heard Chris and Kirk talking about what Louisville's offense had done coming into this game. There you see the numbers. 39.4 points per game, held to 25 by the Rutgers defense, which came in 3rd in the nation in scoring defense, giving up less than 9 a game. The pass yards also down, as are the rushing yards. And the Louisville defense had only been allowing 15.3 points per game. But T.O. Rice and company put up 28 tonight and get the biggest victory in school history so far.
That's right, so far. More to do inside Sports Center. The college football world now painted scarlet red. What's next in the BCS? More from the Rutgers big win, the Cardinal loss in New Jersey. Reese Davis is here with his college friends to give perspective. After a stunning home loss to the Hawks, the Cavs welcome an old rival, but this time would LeBron walk away with a W? And what's a day without something from Dallas? Why Big D may not be big enough for Bill and T.O. Mark Schlereth's bold prediction of who leaves town first.
Breakdown, brought to you by McDonald's.
USC. They play Oregon ranked 21st, then they get Cal, then they get Notre Dame, then they get UCLA. Going through that gamut, if they continue on the pace they are defensively, the #1 defense.
Party on the Turnpike tonight. Number 3 Louisville taking on number 15 Rutgers. Jeremy Ito to win it from 28 yards away. Got it. Ray Rice, 131 yards and 22 carries. Rutgers scored the last 21 points of the game. They're 9-0. Here's Reese Davis and company with more.
That R has been like the scarlet letter in college football. No more "that's why you're Rutgers." No more finding ways to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. The Scarlet Knights are still undefeated after taking down Louisville. Lou Holtz, Mark May alongside. And Rutgers fell behind, reminiscent of Louisville blowing that 24-7 lead at West Virginia last year, except this time Rutgers just took it from them.
This is a game that was won by Rutgers. They played outstanding football after being down 25-7. They controlled both lines of scrimmage, but more importantly, they played more physical. Louisville was looking forward to last week's game. Everybody wanted to talk about West Virginia. Rutgers was talking about this game, and it turned on just a couple plays late in the football game. The first one we're going to see on third down, a screen pass. The receiver blocks down in. They flip the ball to Brian Leonard. He picks up 26 yards, which was absolutely critical on third down. Then they're going to come right back here, and they give it to their main man, Ray Rice, who averaged almost 6 yards a carry, and he puts it in field goal range. From then on, the game was not in doubt.
I think the major key, though, with this football game where it really turned was in the second half because of the halftime adjustments from head coach Greg Schiano. You looked at this team in the second half, they were attacking defensively, up the field of play, putting pressure on the quarterback, Brian Brown, stuffing the run. They held Louisville's offense to around 50 yards in the second half, sacked Brian Brown 3 times, made him run out of the pocket numerous times, tackles for losses with the running backs, tackles for losses with Brian Brown, and he looked confused on the field of play. Greg Schiano made some spectacular adjustments in the second half, but head coach Bobby Petrino from Louisville did not compensate and change his offense. Max protection, protect your quarterbacks, look over the middle to get rid of the ball, but you've got to take your hats off to Greg Schiano and the Rutgers football team. They played a magnificent second half. They shut out and shut down Louisville's offense.
Hardly ever do you see a Bobby Petrino offense, or Brian Brown for that matter, look as befuddled as they did in the second half. So now the door is being kicked wide open for the one-loss team.
Knocked down.
Well, the BCS implications, who benefits the most?
Well, you'd have to think it may be Florida, because if they run the table and beat Auburn, that would be fine. But I have to think it's the University of California. I mean, they're a very balanced football team. They have Nate Longshore, an excellent quarterback. They have 2 outstanding running backs. You look at Marshawn Lynch, you look at Justin Forsett, and they got a great kick returner and a great receiver in Deshaun Jackson. I mean, and defensively, they're a good, solid football team as well. Since their opening loss against Tennessee, they have played exceptionally well. They're my number one-loss team.
I think their offense has been phenomenal. I still question their defense a little bit, but the number one-loss team, I'm glad you didn't go Notre Dame, but the number one-loss team, if they finish this season undefeated the rest of the way, it's got to be USC. They play Oregon ranked 21st, then they get Cal, then they get Notre Dame, then they get UCLA. Going through that gamut, if they continue on the pace they are defensively, the number 1 defense in the Pac-10, they will shut these teams down, and their offense is finally getting in sync. And if USC finishes the regular season 11-1, they will be the best one-loss team in the nation by far. Won't even be close. Don't talk about conference championships. It's over.
I'm going to talk about one other team, though the team that still has a 0 in the loss column. What about Rutgers? It's not likely. Non-conference schedule is not great. The key is going to be how high do they get in the polls next week. They still have a marquee game against West Virginia, an opportunity to boost those computer rankings. The key is, where will the Scarlet Knights be when new polls come out next week? Jubilation in Piscataway. You know, they played the first ever college football game 137 years ago. 137 years of frustration released with the Scarlet Knight victory.
And it's a bit of revenge for Rutgers as well. Remember, the Cardinals beat Rutgers 56-5 last year, but they forgot all about that now. They're able to look ahead. They don't want to look too far ahead to that game at West Virginia. You heard Greg Schiano earlier say all they're concerned about is at Cincinnati next week, followed by Syracuse at home, and then the showdown with the Mountaineers on ESPN on December 2nd.
That's a good one. More on Rutgers win later. Bobby Petrino's got a leg.